This is the Commodities, Scrap Metal Recycling and Economic Report brought to you by Bentley Roll-Off Trailers, Gondola Trailers, and Roll-Off Truck Parts, February 6, 2023. U.S. weekly raw steel production rose to 1.65 million tons on a slow growth economy and the weaker U.S. dollar, which raised import steel prices. That allows U.S. suppliers to raise prices and/or sell more tons. U.S. dollar index, the U.S. dollar versus other global currencies. When the U.S. dollar falls, commodities priced in U.S. dollars rises. It rose to 102.9, but still well off September's high. The good U.S. jobs report could mean higher interest rates than planned. That raises the U.S. dollar. Higher interest rates keep the U.S. dollar fairly strong. WTI crude oil price fell to $73.39 a barrel, near a one-year low. This was on a strong report about Russian exports to China and India, as well as concerns over the slow speed of China's post-COVID recovery. The U.S. weekly oil rig count fell to 599 on the strong Russian oil exports, hurting global prices. The U.S. drillers are committed to tight supplies to get the highest possible prices. U.S. weekly crude oil production was steady at 12.2 million barrels per day and in a tight range for about the past 9 months. The tight supply strategy is working. Last week, oil companies declared record profits. Scrap steel number one HMS price was steady at $335 a gross ton, but set to rise about $20 a gross ton or more this week. The lower U.S. dollar is helping U.S. exports of scrap. That's creating more demand for scrap here in the U.S. Higher demand brings those higher prices. Hot rolled coil steel price rose to $39.72 per hundredweight, which is $7.94 a ton. This was on higher scrap costs and the higher priced imports we talked about, so the U.S. mills can raise prices. Copper price fell to $4.03 a pound, the lowest in over 3 weeks. This is on the strong U.S. dollar and higher copper inventory in China. Aluminum price fell to $1.17 a pound, which is $25.77 a metric ton, on concerns over the robustness of China's post-COVID recovery we just talked about. U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate. It rose 0.25% to 4.5 to 4.75, the highest since 2007, but let's remember, it was 20% in 1981. The Federal Reserve is raising those rates to slow the economy to return inflation to the 2% they've talked about. U.S. January S&P manufacturing PMI was revised higher to 46.9, and remember, under 50 means contraction. It was the third month of slowing factory activity, but it fell at a slower rate. Price pressure was stronger though, and new orders slowed. U.S. January new jobs created jumped 517,000, the most since July. This is normally great news, but the Federal Reserve hates this. They want a looser job market, so less pressure to raise wages, and that would help bring less inflation. U.S. January unemployment rate fell to 3.4%, the lowest since May 1969, 54 years ago. Like above, this is good news and bad news. It shows it's a tight labor market. U.S. January labor force participation rate. This is people 16 years of age or older that are working or looking for work. It rose slightly to 62.4%, but still low. That means 37.6% are not even looking for work. More people back in the workforce with lower inflation. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 52 points to 33,926. This was on the concern about the strong jobs report, which could bring those higher interest rates for longer. Keep in mind the higher interest rates make it more expensive to do business, which slows the economy, which lowers inflation. Need a new roll-off truck? Have an underutilized day cab? Save $185,000, I'm going to repeat, save $185,000 literally. Buy a new Bentley Super Mini roll-off trailer, only 25 feet 11 inches long. When put behind a day cab, it's almost as short as a roll-off truck and carries more weight legally. Importantly, with a tarp system and FET, it's about $84,000. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.